for the fourth Saturday of January 2026. A few stray thoughts. And a few general remarks. And a few points of view. By way of a roundup of the week. All my own musings. Like, all the news of the week emanated from Davos, Switzerland.
Very good morning to all of you. Thank you.
The world may be very different today, but I believe that geopolitical shocks can and must serve as an opportunity.
We want strong allies, not seriously weakened ones. We want Europe to be strong.
The rules-based order is fading. We believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just.
Like, in reply to Shiv Sena, UBT MP, Sanjay Raut, Maharashtra Chief Minister's wife, Amruta Fadnavis said, Davos was not a picnic spot. She is perhaps right. But why should Chief Minister's wife respond to Sanjay Raut's statement? By the way, did she make her statement from Davos? Just asking.
पीएम जो है दावोस गए हैं और वहां पर जिस तरीके से अपोजिशन आरोप करता है, खासकर संजय राउत आरोप कर रहे हैं कि पिकनिक करने गए हैं या फिर कई करोड़ रुपए खर्च किए जा रहे हैं, किस तरह दिखेगा?
आप डावोस के अगर एमओयूज पे ध्यान दें या जॉब क्रिएटिविटी पे ध्यान दें तो ऐसी बात आप खुद ही खारिज कर देंगे, आप उसको प्रश्न में भी नहीं लाएंगे ऐसी बात को, क्योंकि वहाँ एक महाराष्ट्र को इंटरनेशनल प्लेटफॉर्म मिल रहा है, वहाँ पे अलग अलग उद्योजकों से मिला जा सकता है, भारत के ही और भारत के बाहर के भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स बहुत रहते हैं यहाँ, और भारत को एक वहाँ चेहरा देना और महाराष्ट्र को और अलग अलग स्टेट्स को एक जरूरी चीज है अगर हम बिजनेस वाइज एज अ कंट्री आगे जाना चाहे तो ये कम्प्लीटली एक इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट के लिए मूव है। और उनका 3 दिनों की डावोस में पिकनिक नहीं होती, वहाँ काम ही होते हैं सुबह से 6 बजे से तो रात के 12 बजे तक सिर्फ काम का शेड्यूल है उनका, और उनकी घर बेटी वाइफ तो यहीं पे है इंडिया में, तो पिकनिक का सवाल ही नहीं उठता।
Like, even industrialist Harsh Goenka says Davos is absurdly expensive.
So I think two trends that continue from last year is the whole trend around energy transition and the trend around AI. And I think the conversations have gotten a lot deeper, a lot more meaningful, with a clear end goal as to how this can be viable, not just for businesses but for countries as well. But beyond that, I think the larger conversation this time, at least what I've seen so far today and what's expected to be seen tomorrow, is a lot more on the geopolitical situation that currently exists. And I think when you look at the title of the Davos, the spirit of dialogue, I think that's very much in essence what is today honestly required.
And Pak failed Marshal shivered so much that he wore a bulletproof jacket in Davos. Trump rolls out Board of Peace, India sits it out, Pakistan signs on. US President Donald Trump unveiled the Board of Peace at the World Economic Forum in Davos as a new mechanism to resolve global conflicts. The initiative includes countries from West Asia, Central Asia, Latin America, and South Asia, though participation was lower than initially projected. Most European countries stayed away from the board amid ongoing tensions with Trump. India did not attend the signing ceremony despite receiving an invitation, and New Delhi has neither accepted nor rejected the proposal so far. India is yet to take a call on it, people familiar with the matter said when asked about Trump's invite to PM Modi. Pakistan Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif was present on stage during the event, and later signed the charter. Putin finds $1 billion for peace, in Washington's freezer. Vladimir Putin said Russia was ready to use assets frozen in the US to help rebuild Ukraine after a peace treaty was signed. He proposed directing $1 billion from those frozen funds to Trump's proposed Board of Peace. Putin said the idea had already been discussed with Washington, and would be taken up further during meetings with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. When gesture meets hard math. $4 to $5 billion of Russia's frozen assets are held in the US, a small share of the roughly $300 billion immobilized globally, and far short of Ukraine's rebuilding needs. The proposal is seen as an attempt to appeal to Trump and head off additional sanctions, even as Moscow shows little sign of shifting its core war demands. The offer came as Russia and Ukraine continue to strike energy infrastructure.
Trump UN invites Canada for talking back. Donald Trump withdrew Canada's invitation to join his proposed Board of Peace after Mark Carney rejected claims that Canada depended on the US. Tensions flared at the World Economic Forum when Carney criticized the ruptured US-led global order and Trump responded by saying Canada lived because of America. Trump later publicly addressed Carney by name, saying he was not grateful and warning him over future statements. Carney responded in a national address by saying Canada thrived because of itself, while still acknowledging the partnership with the US. He positioned Canada as a democratic model at a time of global democratic decline and criticized power-based enforcement of global rules. Trump unveiled the Board of Peace in Davos without a clear mandate, expanded its scope beyond Gaza, and moved ahead despite limited participation.
Trump takes India on board for his Gaza peace plan.
New Delhi gets the call. The US president has invited India to join a proposed International Board of Peace to oversee Gaza's post-war transition. The invitation placed India among a select group of countries and global figures being brought into Trump's Gaza roadmap. The move has positioned India as a potential stakeholder in post-conflict governance and reconstruction discussions of Gaza.
Proposed way to Shanti Club. A draft charter suggested that countries might need to contribute up to $1 billion to secure long-term membership on the proposed Board of Peace. Donald Trump is set to serve as the inaugural chairman, with the authority to invite members and approve all major decisions. Member states are to receive equal voting rights, but no decision could be taken without the chairman's consent.
Sanglikars Weekly.
Like Eco Times reported that India emerged second most preferred investment destination at Davos. And co-founder of Carlyle, David Riebenstein, said India may soon become largest economy. Really?
And India has already secured new investment commitments from Cisco and Hitachi, advanced talks on a historic EU trade deal, and also showcased its largest ever delegation to position itself as the fastest growing large economy and a premier investment destination at Davos 2026.
You are watching Sanglikars Weekly.
Live in Mumbai, a minister's absconding son surrendered after a nudge from High Court.
The government said nothing.
Good.
For 52 days, a man accused of serious electoral violence stayed out of jail, not because the law was weak, but because power was strong. Then, one judge spoke, and within hours, the absconder surrendered. No encounter, no political negotiation, no midnight arrest drama, just the constitution doing its job. This is the story of how the Bombay High Court reminded Maharashtra and the country of one uncomfortable truth. When the judiciary stands firm, even political power has to bend. Maharashtra Minister Bharat Gogawle's son was forced to surrender after the Bombay High Court came down heavily on the Maharashtra government.
Like Farooq Abdullah's statement on January 19th, remembered as KP Holocaust Day, was highly objectionable and hurtful for KPs. But there were no protests. Maybe people ignore the old man.
कब जाएंगे? कौन रोकता है उन्हें? किसी ने नहीं रोका। जाएं, घर है, घर जाएं, बैठे वहाँ पे आराम से। वहाँ बहुत से पंडित रह रहे, कभी वो निकले नहीं। जब बाकी निकलाले गए थे, वो नहीं निकले, वहीं बैठे, अपने गांव में आराम से बैठे। मेरे वक्त में मैंने इनसे कहा था, घर भी बना के देंगे, घर के सामान भी बना के दे देंगे। उसके बाद हुकूमत चली गई। अब दिल्ली को हुकूमत को देखना है, पहले तो इन लोगों को देखना है। क्योंकि आप हर जगह बस गए हैं, बुजुर्ग हो गए हैं, वहाँ इनका इलाज चलते हैं, बच्चे कॉलेजेस और स्कूल्स व यूनिवर्सिटीज़ में हैं। वो तो एक विजिटर आएंगे, ये नहीं था वो वहाँ रहने के लिए आएंगे।
Like, another Punjabi singer got death threats from Lawrence Bishnoi. Isn't he in jail? Or does he get all facilities in jail?
Now viewers, we are learning that singer B. Prak has received a threat. A call was made to singer Dilnoor. Dilnoor lodged a complaint in Mohali. There was a threat that was issued. What was the threat? Pay 10 crore rupees or we will reduce you to dust. The caller identified himself as Arju Bishnoi. Arju Bishnoi, remember, is from the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, who is currently also hiding abroad. So this is again a new episode, one might say, in the Bishnoi gang threat.
10 करोड़ रुपए चाहिए, तेरे पास 1 हफ्ते का टाइम है, जिस मर्जी कंट्री में चला जा, जहां भी आस-पास वाले उसके साथ वाला कोई भी मिल गया ना, ठीक है, नुकसान कर देंगे। यार इसको फेक कॉल मत समझना, ठीक है, मिलके चलेगा, ठीक है, नहीं उसको बोल मिट्टी में मिला देंगे।
Like, Naveen, BJP President, Nabin, took charge. PM reportedly called him boss. Really? Senior BJP leader Nitin Nabin has taken charge as the party's new national president, replacing Jagat Prakash Nadda in the high-profile post, and capping an exhaustive internal selection process that began at the grassroots and progressed to the national level. Speaking at the BJP headquarters, PM Modi said, "I am party worker and Nitin Nabin my boss in matters related to party."
लोगों को लगता होगा कि नरेंद्र मोदी देश के प्रधानमंत्री है, तीसरी बार प्रधानमंत्री बने, 50 साल की छोटी आयु में मुख्यमंत्री बन गए, 25 साल से लगातार हेड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट रहे हैं। ये सब अपनी जगह पे है, लेकिन इन सबसे भी बड़ी चीज मेरे जीवन में है, मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कार्यकर्ता हूं। ये सबसे बड़ा गर्व है। और जब बात पार्टी के विषयों पर आती है, तब माननीय नितिन नवीन जी, मैं कार्यकर्ता हूं, वे मेरे बॉस हैं।
Nitin Nabin takes charge as BJP president. What's at stake for PM Modi's boss? High-stakes electoral calendar. Nitin Nabin faces an immediate test with assembly elections due in Assam, West Bengal, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, where the BJP is defending power in some states and seeking expansion in others. The electoral load intensifies in 2027, when 7 states including Uttar Pradesh vote, followed by another cluster of key states in 2028. His tenure will culminate in the 2029 Lok Sabha elections, where the BJP will chase a record 4th consecutive national victory. Managing Party, Allies and Gen Z. As BJP's first millennial president, Nabin must balance youth and Gen Z outreach with the expectations and authority of senior leaders. Coalition management within the NDA will be central, with PM Modi explicitly tasking him to ensure coordination among allies. Beyond elections, Nabin is expected to anchor ideology, organization, and discipline while countering opposition criticism over internal democracy.
Sanglikars Weekly.
Like, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka governors refused to read out government speeches in assemblies. Too critical of centre, said governors. A presidential reference to Supreme Court on Article 176. Governor insulted, or national anthem insulted.
Governor walks out of Tamil Nadu Assembly for the 4th consecutive year. Chief Minister Stalin slams move as breach of tradition. Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi walked out of the State Assembly without delivering his customary address to the House in its maiden session of the year, alleging inaccuracies in the text prepared by the DMK government. This was the fourth consecutive year since 2023 that the governor has walked out of the Assembly. As soon as the House began its business, the governor greeted Assembly Speaker M. Appavu, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and members of the Assembly. In Tamil, he extended New Year greetings and Pongal greetings. Following this, Tami's Tare Vajthu, the invocation song, was rendered. After this, Governor Ravi expressed displeasure, stating that the national anthem was not given due respect. "I am disappointed. The national anthem must be duly respected," the governor said.
The Speaker intervened, urging the governor to restrict himself to reading the customary address prepared by the state government, and to follow established rules and conventions of the House. Speaker Appavu also asserted that only elected MLAs are permitted to express opinions on the floor of the Assembly. As the exchange continued, the governor said it was unfortunate that his speech was interrupted and claimed that his microphone was switched off. "I am insulted. I cannot read out address, which is full of inaccuracies," he remarked before walking out of the Assembly. Like Karnataka DGP, K.R. Rao is suspended for sexual misbehavior with several women. Shocking.
Terror attack ahead of Republic Day.
Delhi and several other cities across the country have been placed on high alert ahead of Republic Day. Intelligence agencies have warned that Khalistani and Bangladesh-based terror outfits may attempt attacks. Security measures have been stepped up in sensitive areas to prevent any possible incidents.
Punjab-based gangsters are reportedly being used as foot soldiers by Khalistani and radical handlers abroad. These handlers are allegedly leveraging local criminal networks to further their agendas and disrupt internal security. The gangsters are active across Haryana, Delhi NCR, Uttar Pradesh, and Rajasthan, and are gradually establishing links with Khalistani terrorist elements.
West Bengal.
1.25 crore persons in logical discrepancy list in West Bengal. Supreme Court issues directions to Election Commission of India to ensure transparent verification of persons in logical discrepancy list.
In relation to the special intensive revision process in West Bengal, the Supreme Court issued a set of directions to the Election Commission of India to ensure that the verification of the persons put in the logical discrepancies category is conducted in a transparent manner, without causing stress inconvenience to the persons. The court directed the Election Commission of India to publish the list of persons to whom notices have been sent citing logical discrepancies in the enumeration forms submitted by them. The lists have to be published in the Panchayat and block offices. The court noted that about 1.25 crores of notices have been sent to various persons, citing discrepancies such as mismatch in parents' names, low age gap with parents, number of progeny of the cited parents more than 6, etc. The court also clarified that persons who have received notices from the ECI will be entitled to submit their documents or objections through their authorized agents, who can be the booth-level agents. The agents have to be appointed through a letter marked with a signature or thumb impression. Taking into consideration the concerns expressed by the petitioners that persons will have to travel hundreds of kilometers to respond to the notices, the court directed that the office for submitting the documents or objections shall be set up within the Panchayat Bhavan block offices. If the documents are found to be unsatisfactory, The election officers should give the persons an opportunity of hearing, Supreme Court observed.
Like, the aviation mess created by Indigo made its Q3 profits fall by 75%. Not surprising. DGCA announces Indigo penalties, executive warnings. DGCA imposes Rs 22.20 crore fine for December fiasco, warns top management.
DGCA imposed a total penalty of Rs 22.20 crore after an inquiry found that flight disruptions between December the 3rd and 5th, 2025 led to the cancellation of 2,507 flights. The regulator levied Rs 1.80 crore in one-time penalties for multiple violations of civil aviation requirements. The inquiry identified over-optimization of operations, inadequate planning buffers and poor implementation of revised FDTL rules. DGCA issued warnings to Indigo's CEO, COO and senior operational executives, directing the senior vice president to be relieved of his current responsibilities. The airline has been ordered to furnish a Rs 50 crore bank guarantee under the Indigo Systemic Reform Assurance Scheme. DGCA acknowledged Indigo's swift restoration of operations and passenger refunds, while also launching an internal review.
SC allows dual prayers at Bodhshala, the 11th century ACI protected monument. SC allowed Hindus and Muslims to offer their prayers at MP's long-disputed Bodhshala complex on Basant Panchami. Hindus were allowed to perform prayers from sunrise to sunset, while permitting Muslims to offer namaz between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. The court asked the Muslim committee to submit a list of worshippers to district authorities for coordination. Hindus regard Bodhshala, an ASI-protected medieval monument, as a Saraswati temple, while Muslims identify it as the Kamal Mawla Mosque. Congress, DMK ties in Tamil Nadu. Congress High Command steps in, puts an end to DMK exit.
For the Congress, Tamil Nadu remains one of the few states that has consistently delivered near total electoral success through alliance politics at a time when its own national footprint has shrunk. The Congress High Command moved decisively to shut down speculation about exiting the DMK-led alliance in Tamil Nadu, concluding after a marathon closed-door meeting that the party cannot afford a rupture, politically or electorally, as it looks ahead to the 2029 Lok Sabha elections.
Sources have told India Today Tamil Nadu Congress Committee remains in favour of being in alliance with the DMK. The state party unit is said to be unhappy with the conduct of local leader Praveen Chakravarti. They are also not backing the Lok Sabha MP Manikanta Gore's call that there should be power sharing with the DMK.
Congress Tharura Rift boils, BJP recommends Board of Peace. Sources close to Shashi Tharura said he was very upset with how the party has treated him in recent months, PTI reported. Tharura was also displeased about Rahul Gandhi not meeting him during the Lok Sabha Lop's recent Kochi visit. The Congress MP had been praising PM Modi and the BJP-led government, angering his party. BJP said the Congress needs its own Board of Peace, similar to the one suggested by Donald Trump for Gaza. However, Congress leader Sandeep Dixit said all strong leaders from Kerala would attend the meeting. Kerala, the Congress MP's home state, will hold assembly polls in April, with the party hoping to regain power.
The Congress dilemma. Coalition or no coalition?
DMK or TVK. Decoding Congress's alliance dilemma ahead of Tamil Nadu Assembly elections. From 7 to 18 seats. Congress gains whenever DMK surges.
The Congress's electoral fortunes in Tamil Nadu have been intertwined with the DMK since the two parties came together. Whenever the DMK has done well, the Congress has also gained, and vice versa. The Grand Old Party has seen a steady decline in its vote share in the state from 9.3% in 2011 to 4.27% in the 2021 Assembly elections.
Ekla Chelo Re. Rahul Gandhi's single-minded strategy is a high-risk bet for Congress.
Rahul Gandhi, the leader of the opposition, believes that Sonia Gandhi's style of coalition politics is outdated and has only diminished the Congress's stature. Rahul Gandhi, advocating the Ekla Chalo Re strategy, thinks this is the way forward, even at the cost of victory.
The BJP is feeding the Thackeray's Rasmalai. The Thackeray's are left pondering if blood is indeed thicker than water. And the Congress is trying to determine if it can go it alone. At an election rally, Rahul Gandhi had announced, "We will not compromise on our principles, even if we are wiped out."
It might be seen as prudent for the Congress to have avoided an alliance in the Mumbai civic polls, due to Raj Thackeray's comments against Tamil Nadu, which could have hurt the DMK Congress alliance before the state polls. However, this does not explain why the Congress aligned with Uddhav Thackeray in Pune.
The Congress has decided to follow Rahul Gandhi's path. He has asked party leaders from Tamil Nadu to consider the possibility of not relying heavily on the DMK. The Congress is refusing to accept a lower position in seat-sharing negotiations, and views TVK chief Vijay as an option and a tool to negotiate and pressurize the DMK.
However, Rahul Gandhi faces resistance from within his party, with some members believing they should not abandon an old ally like the DMK. While it is important to revive and protect the Congress identity, winning elections is equally crucial. Many feel that obtaining a Lal Bati red beacon is what the Congress needs to find some light at the end of the tunnel.
A.R. Rahman invokes power shift, evolving power dynamics in Bollywood, language, religion, and region to say he does not get work.
I can see today in 2025 there's a lot of prejudice that exists within the Hindi film landscape of people who are not from Maharashtra, who are not from that language, who don't speak that language, who are not natively from there. And I can see today there's still so much discrimination that exists against the Tamil community within Bollywood as well. So that's why I asked you, what was it like in the 90s? Did you ever face...
Maybe I didn't get to know all the stuff. Maybe God concealed all the stuff. But for me, I never felt any of those. Past 8 years, maybe, because the power shift has happened. You know, people who are not creative have the power now to decide things. And might have been a communal thing also, but not in my face, but I hear, like Chinese whispers, that this happened and they booked you, and the other company, the music company, went and funded the movie and got their 5 composers. And I said, oh, that's great. Rest for me. I can chill out with my family.
Harun Rashid, the interviewer, is a British Pakistani. His country of origin, Pakistan, treated Aurangzeb as one of the greatest rulers ever. They treat the 17-year-old invader, Mohammed bin Qasim, as the first Pakistani who brought Islam to the subcontinent. A nation founded on the basis of the two-nation theory, which was disproved on day one due to India's secularism. Hindus and Muslims could coexist, and Muslims could thrive in India. Pakistanis naturally could never stomach this. Hence, they taught their citizens Indian Muslims are second-class citizens.
But why blame Harun Rashid, the interviewer? A.R. Rahman ke dil mein jo tha, wo samne aaya.
Power shift has happened. Might have been a communal thing. A.R. Rahman on Bollywood changes. In an interview with BBC Asian Network, Rahman attributed the change to evolving power dynamics within the industry, and said he often learns about missed opportunities indirectly rather than through direct communication.
दिल में जो है वही ज़बान पे है. दिल में जो है वही ज़बान पे है और कोई हम में खास बात नहीं.
लहजे में सुधार लाओ. धरती पर अमीर हो अमर नहीं.
But the things that come out of the mouth come from the heart, and these things defile a man.
Purify the heart to tame the tongue.
तुम में तो कुछ भी वाहियात नहीं, तुम में तो कुछ भी वाहियात नहीं। जाओ, तुम आदमी की जात, तुम में तो कुछ भी वाहियात नहीं। क्या कहता है? तुम में तो कुछ भी वाहियात नहीं। जाओ, तुम आदमी की जात नहीं। बहुत अच्छा है। तुम में तो कुछ भी वाहियात नहीं। जाओ, तुम आदमी की जात नहीं। और दिल में जो है, वही जबान पे है। दिल में जो है वही जबान पे है, और कोई हम में खास बात नहीं। दिल में जो है वही जबान पर है, और कोई हम में खास बात नहीं। सबको धुतकारा, दरकिनार किया, सबको धुतकारा दरकिनार किया। एक बस खुद ही से नजात नहीं।
Muslim rights are not safe in BJP rule is the Dravidian theme. Does this interview bolster this undercurrent for the TN election as well?
You are watching Sanglikar's Weekly.
Dear friends, music has always been my way of connecting, celebrating, and honoring our culture. India is my inspiration, my teacher, and my home. I understand that intentions can sometimes be misunderstood, but my purpose has always been to uplift, honor, and serve through music. I have never wished to cause pain, and I hope my sincerity is felt. I feel blessed to be Indian, which enables to create a space which always allows freedom of expression and celebrates multicultural voices.
PM Modi intensifies Bengal campaign with Paltano Darkar, Chai BJP Sarkar slogan, slamming TMC rule and calling for change ahead of elections.
टीएमसी की सरकार जाएगी तभी असली परिवर्तन आएगा। टीएमसी जावे तबे আসল পরিবর্তন আসবে। পাল্টানো দরকার, পাল্টানো দরকার, পাল্টানো দরকার, পাল্টানো দরকার, পাল্টানো দরকার, পাল্টানো দরকার।
Paltano Darkar, Chai BJP Sarkar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi coined a new political slogan for West Bengal ahead of the upcoming state elections, declaring Paltano Darkar, Chai BJP Sarkar, a clarion call for change and a clear pitch for a BJP-led government in the state.
The phrase, part of PM Modi's address after flagging of Vande Bharat sleeper trains, calls for replacing the Trinamool Congress-led West Bengal government of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee with a Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, dispensation. After NDA's victory in Bihar, it's time for Bengal, PM Modi said at the rally in Malda.
Like, in her first public speech in India, Sheikh Hasina called Bangladesh's Mohammed Yunus murderous fascist. I think she is right. Sheikh Hasina on democracy in Bangladesh. What Hasina said. Sheikh Hasina called the Yunus-led interim government a foreign-serving puppet regime and urged its overthrow to restore democracy and constitutional rule. She accused the administration of plunging Bangladesh into terror, lawlessness, and democratic exile. She appealed to the public to unite and revive democratic institutions. What are her demands? She demanded the removal of the Yunus administration, the restoration of democratic rule, and a fresh, impartial UN investigation into the events of the past year. She called for an immediate end to violence, lawlessness, and what she described as politically motivated legal action against journalists and political opponents. She sought ironclad guarantees for the safety and rights of religious minorities, women, girls, and other vulnerable sections of society. Like in sports, ace shuttler Saina Nehwal announced her retirement. She revived women's badminton in India. India's badminton pioneer Saina Nehwal retires. Trailblazer, who changed Indian badminton. Early in her career, Saina Nehwal was often confused with Sania Mirza, but that ended after her breakthrough Olympic bronze at London 2012 put badminton firmly on India's sporting map. She became the first Indian woman to win an Olympic medal in badminton, reach world number 1, and play a BWF World Championship final. Her success inspired a generation of young players and helped badminton gain mass popularity across India, especially among girls. No shift, no shuffle. Bangladesh told to play in India or face replacement. Is India losing faith in dollar? Rebalancing reserve. India's holdings of US Treasuries have fallen to about $174 billion, the lowest level in 5 years, marking a 26% drop from their 2023 peak. The Reserve Bank of India has reduced the share of treasuries in its forex reserves to roughly 1/3, down from about 40% a year ago, while increasing gold holdings. The shift is driven by a weakening rupee and a deliberate move to rebalance reserves away from dollar-heavy assets. Why dollar is losing ground? Policymakers have grown cautious after the US froze Russia's reserves in 2022, highlighting the risks of holding assets vulnerable to sanctions. Strained US-India trade ties and higher tariffs have added pressure, pushing the RBI to use reserves to support the rupee. India's strategy mirrors a broader global trend, with countries like China and Brazil also cutting treasury exposure and adding gold. Like World Tourism Report says that there is a surge in tourism propelled by Asians and Africans. Chinese and Indians take lead. Like world's most flamboyant Italian fashion designer Valentino, 93, died. End of an era. Couture's last emperor, Valentino, no more.
Valentino Garavani died at 93 at his home in Rome, marking the end of an era in global couture. He had built the Valentino fashion house into a symbol of glamour after founding it in 1959. Tributes recalled him as the designer who dressed royalty, first ladies, and Hollywood on equal terms.
The fashion designer Valentino Garavani once said he knows what women want, quote, they want to look beautiful, and he helped some of the most famous women in the world achieve exactly that goal. Valentino, as he was simply known, died today at his home in Rome. He was 93 years old. Seth Doan looks now at Valentino's impact on fashion.
His last name was Garavani, but just Valentino was enough to signal elegance, glamour, and that Italian style. Celebrities and royals were among his many muses, red carpets his stages, and that scarlet, or was it poppy, was a signature, his seductive Valentino red.
I love beauties, I love making women sensational, glamorous, elegant.
Opening his first atelier in Rome in 1959, he dressed those La Dolce Vita years and its stars. When Jacqueline Kennedy got remarried in 1968, it was in Valentino.
I think this is timeless.
It's a work of art.
Valentino is an elegant person himself, so it makes sense.
Valentino was tanned, coiffed, surrounded by big personalities and little dogs. It was said he'd keep the air conditioning on high at his Rome atelier to encourage the wearing of suits. Heralded as the last of his generation of designers, he was a singular figure in fashion, known by a single name.
What does it mean for middle powers to live the truth? Well, first, it means naming reality. Stop invoking rules-based international order as though it still functions as advertised. Call it what it is, a system of intensifying great power rivalry where the most powerful pursue their interests using economic integration as coercion. It means acting consistently, applying the same standards to allies and rivals. When middle powers criticize economic intimidation from one direction but stay silent when it comes from another, we are keeping the sign in the window. It means building what we claim to believe in. Rather than waiting for the old order to be restored, it means creating institutions and agreements that function as described. And it means reducing the leverage that enables coercion. That's building a strong domestic economy. It should be every government's immediate priority. And diversification internationally is not just economic prudence, it's a material foundation for honest foreign policy, because countries earn the right to principled stands by reducing their vulnerability to retaliation. We have a recognition of what's happening and a determination to act accordingly. We understand that this rupture calls for more than adaptation. It calls for honesty about the world as it is. We are taking the sign out of the window. We know the old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just. This is the task of the middle powers. The countries that have the most to lose from a world of fortresses and the most to gain from genuine cooperation.
Lazy Bee. The 24th of January, 2026.
Part 2 follows.